Would you call that one of the more difficult days of your career working with Puff?
What's that?
The Biggie situation,
man. When you pull somebody out the car after they've been murdered, you can't get no rougher than that, bro.
Yeah, that's something you take on with you for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't really.
When you actually tell them, if we go to this party, somebody gonna die, you can't get no rougher than that, bro. You know what I'm saying? When you've been warned and you done told everybody in the room, yo, listen here, y'all, if we step outside the door, when someone's gonna die, ain't nothing that's gonna come back. And then, Gene, go ahead with that bullshit, man. You know that cop shit and all that. And then we step outside the door and 2 people die. It's hard to come back. And especially when it's somebody with the statue. Not saying that our lives is not as important,
right,
but somebody life like Big, where you're gonna always hear his music till you die.
Yeah.
When you gonna always see somebody with a T-shirt on till you die. When you're gonna always hear stories about how great he is until you die. That goes along with you a long way, brother.
Hell yeah.
Well, what gave you the inkling something so terrible could or would go wrong?
Well, first of all, it's the East Coast, West Coast war.
Prime.
Which was, and I've been on stage with Big a lot of times.
Right.
You understand? Well, Puff to tell me, yo, Gene, don't worry about me. Go make sure Big is all right on stage. You know what I'm saying? So I'm on stage, and you got motherfuckers throwing shit up there. You got something like that. It just said whole 9 yards. Sometimes you're on stage, and it's just you think it's just great because there's more people in there that love them that don't. But you still see the guys inside. In the clubs after the parties, you see guys, hating,
standing around.
Then you hear shit, and then I know street guys and everything like that. And this one particular time, when we was out of California, when I went out there, I was young, dumb, full of cum. You didn't know no better. But, you know what I'm saying, if I start crying, what the baby gonna do,
Mm-hmm.
Kids need milk. Kids need clothes. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm still working good, but, you got to realize, dog, for 2-3 days of work, you getting $2,200 tax-free dollars.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that goes a long way. So I'm like this. I get a call from Unique, this guy on YouTube now. God is, man, listen to me. Our God does his shit the way he want to, when he want to, and how he want to.
Every time.
You understand? Unique called me from the jail that they got El Chapo in.
Okay.
And he didn't call me directly. He called a girl named Dawn Farrow. Had me on a 3-way call. Back then, the 3-way call would automatically drop from prison.
Yeah.
You understand? So I'm on the phone with Dawn, and Dawn said, hold on, Gene. And then all I hear is somebody say, vest up. You know what I'm saying? And so the phone hung up. And I said, Dawn, who's that? She said, that's Unique. Unique from Mecca Audio? Because Unique was one of the biggest drug dealers in Harlem. They had a crew called Mecca Audio that used to give rap, how to battle rap shit?
Yeah.
He used to do that shit on the block and just...
Good yeah, this OB Media, Trinity goes crazy, and he detailed that the worst day of his life when he was working with Puff and Biggie died. Man, that shit was crazy, because you told Puff that people was planning to kill us, and we are not going to this party. And they said that Genie D, get out of here with that cop shit. And Genie D was telling them to get more security. Man, I believe that Diddy sacrificed that boy, man. He got that kid killed so that he can get all of his publishing. Diddy was so jealous, and he always wanted the center of attention. And since Biggie Smalls passed away, he tried to get all of the spotlight. So Diddy know what he was doing. He got a strategy just to get all of the fame. But it is what it is, man. You need to watch a full video. This is very interesting. Let's get it.
Throw $5,000 up in the air. You know what I'm saying?
Go crazy.
Like if you won, he'll throw $5,000 up on your side. and then come back, you go to the store and give you $5,000.
Fly.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like whoever was the winner, Unique could throw $5,000 to this side. You know what I'm saying?
So everybody knowing that, everybody hot.
Yeah. And then you come back and get around and say, yo, you could perform at Club 2000. So that guy get to perform at Club 2000 because he owned a club called Club 2000. So me and Unique was mad cool back in the day, as far as we used to put these other names on the flyers. You understand? You know, special invited guests, Unique and Mecca Audio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they crew could come to our parties, our crew go to their party, especially invite guests, Slick in the Family, Big Gene, Slick in the Family, stuff like that. So now, Unique told Dawn that he heard that we was out in Cali and told us to warn him because some dudes was in jail talking about they was gonna kill us. So Dawn told me, I told Kirk Burrows we needed more security. I told Puff, I told Big Crew, and we ended up going to that party anyway. But Puff told me not to go. That's the shit is crazy. Like, I went to talk to your Puff, if we go to the party, somebody gonna come up dead tonight. And he was like, well, Gene, you ain't gotta go. So as far as I know, I'm your only security. Why you saying I ain't gotta go?
Heard.
And so I called back to the block, I called people, and they ended up going to the party anyway. And that's the night Big lost his life.
And a lot was made, I know recently, Mace talking about security hiding, and you've actually lashed back out at them. What do you have to say to like the naysayers out there that, because, you know, that's just Mace or, there's my kids.
You wanna go check on them?
Yeah, let me go check on them real quick.
All right, so yeah, real quick, when we talk about that, we was talking earlier, you were saying that at one point Puff had the ability to avert some of the East Coast, West Coast shit. Maybe you could explain that a little better?
Well, you know, when, you know, at this time, what we were just talking about, Pac is dead, but prior to, before Pac died, you know, Suge Knight and them was starting what they call Death Row East.
Right, I remember that, yeah.
The president of Death Row East wasn't going to be Tupac. The president was going to be Eric B.
That makes
Eric B.
sense.
Rakim,
And Craig Mack was going to be their first artist.
Wow.
You understand?
Wow, that would have been interesting to see that.
So he was going to leave Bad Boy to go to Death Row East?
He was already left Bad Boy.
Okay.
He hadn't been with Bad Boy for 2 years. You understand? A year or two. Him and Big didn't like him. And all. It was a bunch of bullshit, in-house bullshit.
Right.
So Craig Mack was going to be their first. You know, it was going to be Big D, Eric B, and Craig Mack. Big D was a dude that was big in the streets in Harlem, Queens, New York. Period.
Right.
Good dude. You understand what I'm saying? Solid brother. Was respected in and out the streets, the prison system, the whole 9 yards.
What's up, Mike?
Hey!
What's up? What's up, dude?
Michael always has to come say hi.
Fist bump, G.
Oh! You're gonna be a boxer.
Yes, I am.
With the presidential. One thing I always ask myself, I got a lot of friends that do like a lot of executive protection type work. At any point, do you come to terms with the fact that I might have to put my life on the line for this guy or these people? Is that a real thing, or you just kind of put it in the back of your mind like that ain't gonna happen?
Man,
Prevention is the
man.
best.
Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. You understand?
Prevention the best.
Nothing beats an ambush. You always on point. You always on ready. You understand?
When you out of state, out of lines, kind of on the other side, it's like not so much is under my control. You know, so like going out there, that risk is always going to be enhanced. It's more exposure when you out of town, right?
Yeah, but still in all, I don't know, man, but I never went out of my house not thinking it couldn't happen.
Right.
Even today.
Right.
I don't think I'm not the type of guy that, you know, like, just say when I go out on dates I've been out on dates with people and stuff like that, and I'm like this. And then a girl might walk by and, you so disrespectful. Why you always, if you notice, I'm always looking.
I'm holding it down.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't understand. It can happen at any time, at anybody.
That's a fact.
I don't care who it is. And people, you got to be, you know, it's sad that you have to live like that during your time, but when you've been in law enforcement and you've been in security, it is what it is.
Right.
You understand? And I just lived like that. But to get back to what you were saying,
Yeah, the Death Row East. Yeah.
the Death Row East Coast thing was, it was going to be a legitimate. And Eric B came out and talked about it and said yes. He said the same thing that I said. But prior to that is that Eric Von Zip had called Puff when we were in California, and Suge Knight and all them was in New York, and they wanted to squash the East Coast, West Coast beef shit.
And again, this is before Pac's death.
Before Pac's death. You understand? Puff got a call from Haitian Jack.
Yeah, the infamous.
You know what I'm saying? Haitian Jack. And Haitian Jack could attest to this. He called Zip back and said, y'all making me look bad because all them was partying with Suge Knight and the Death Row people at the Mirage and different places and stuff like that. You understand? So Zip was telling him, man, we trying to squash this bullshit and everything like that.
Right.
Just give me, or give me, or you send somebody, you understand, the right to speak for you so we can squash this shit.
Right.
And everything like that. Puff wouldn't give him that right.
Damn. So yeah, members from the East, members from the West, and all they want to do is bring Puff along to sit down and make sure everything was cool, and he ain't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it. He thought he was going to owe somebody something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He didn't want to get into that.
So do you think, because you know how the theory goes, do you think that Puff was looking to benefit from Big not being there, maybe had something to deal with it, or was just turning a blind eye and figured that, just he was too big for that to happen to him?
Bro, I can't speak for what another man could think or what another man may know. I can only speak from what I know and what I believe. And I didn't see that at that time.
Yeah. Man.
So, poor judgment and your guys and your guests, if you had to guess, like,
You can't say poor judgment because I can't speak for another man's thought process. You understand? But would I have either made it or would I have sent somebody that was at like mind as myself and understood like myself? Wolf was in the city. He wasn't in California with us. You know, at the time, it was just me and Puff. You understand? He was shooting that billboard, I think, that billboard thing. It was either Billboard or either, what's the other big magazine at the time?
Source.
The other big white
Vibe?
magazine. It was Billboard and
Rolling Stone.
Rolling Stone.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you. You know what I'm saying?
I love how he goes,
Oh man.
You know, you say this is a show, we gotta keep it 100. Like, act like you act, talk like you talk. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So, he could have sent Wolf.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Wolf would have made sure that everything was, copacetic, whereas that nobody was giving up nothing, nobody had to do nothing and stuff like that.
Right.
You see? But let's get back to what you said before you left. I think that I know this is your show and everything, but you said something about the Mace thing.
Yeah.
I really want to address that.
Okay, I thought
about
you...
the shoot.
Perfect. I thought you talked about it, that's why.
No, we didn't.
Okay.
Because he came with another question, then he came with another question.
Okay, perfect.
Outside of what you want to do, but I don't want to not get to your question.
Absolutely.
Like that.
I appreciate that.
And I know this is your show, sir, and I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just want to.
I appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
I get so much flack from that. You understand? You know, like, why did you take the gun from D-Rock? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? The whole 9 yards. If you allow me to walk you through it, you know, before Big got murdered, you know what I'm saying? Then I would like to do that if it's okay.
Absolutely,
with you.
yes.
All right. So,
turn the mic over a little bit so it's yeah, like you could point it. Yep, there you go.
all right. So now when we were up in the club, right? We were up in the club and everything like that, and the fire department get ready to shut down the building, you know, stuff like that. So when the fire department come, I'm thinking we are sitting ducks if we go outside and wait for the cars to come to us. You understand? It's a crowd of people. Motherfuckers can run up in the crowd. Pow! What people gonna do? They're gonna scatter.
Everybody.
You understand? Something like that. So now I say to myself, you understand? Let me go and put the trucks downstairs. You understand what I'm saying? You know, that particular time I had 3 weapons. I gave Paul a weapon when we was at the house. Paul is the head of security, Green Gate Security, stuff like that. So I gave him one of my weapons and everything like that when we was at the house, before we left the house. So now I got a weapon on my side, and I got one on my ankle. You know, your weapon on your ankle is your last resort. You know what I'm saying? If you run out at the top, you understand, like that, and you're in a situation, you go to your ankle. You know what I'm saying? So now, I give Big's man, D-Rock, Brooklyn guy, one of my guns. And I say, yo, watch Big. I'll be right back. You understand? I didn't want to leave them naked or nothing like that. You understand? So I say, watch Big. And I know Paul got a gun, and they got their other security up there, but I'm telling D-Rock, because that's his man. Watch Big, I'll be right back. I run downstairs, make sure the cars is in front. So as soon as we go out, we go straight to the cars and we can get out of there.
Be out of there.
You understand? That's something security minded. You don't wait for nobody. We never ever waited for anybody at any time when we was in New York City. Why the hell are we doing it in California? So now, I come back upstairs. I get my weapon from D-Rock, put it back on my side. That's my weapon. You understand? I didn't know if D-Rock had a gun or not. That's not for me to know. You understand? If you know we're going out to California and your man got beef, because you know he got beef, because Big had said, I don't know why y'all letting them dog pound them over there shooting a video in Red Hook, and they van go get shot up. So if you think California guys are gonna let you come to California after you done put that type of energy out there and not do nothing, these fight over colors. You done shot up they Winnebago and everything. You think ain't nothing gonna happen? Why would you come out there and you don't have nothing, but just for the sake of things, not knowing, not caring, I just gave him my weapon and just said, yo, watch Big. So when I come back, thinking, man, what they gonna do? They gonna get their gun back, especially from a broken.
Yeah, let me get my piece back, bro.
Especially from a Brooklyn. This is the flag, and this is what, yo, why you got ignorant guys on the internet, why you take the gun back from D-Rock? Well, why D-Rock didn't have his own gun? I don't know if D-Rock had a gun or not. I didn't care. I'm just looking out because I'm leaving Big and them upstairs with them. So when we get back downstairs, we all get in the car. Come on, let's go. Puff light. No, hold up. He going around getting girls. Yo, Gene, like he was doing upstairs, remember her for the pool party tomorrow. Remember her from the pool party tomorrow. Remember that from the pool party tomorrow. Just bringing girls to Big and bring girls up to me. I'm like, what? We never did that shit before.
Man, this interview is interesting, man. Gina did detail all of the details coming up to Biggie Smalls getting killed. Man, this is just crazy. Puffy brought him out there to set him up, to get him killed. That's why he was burning time. He was talking to girls. He was doing all type of stupid shit. So Puffy know what he was doing. So when we heard all of these stories and all of these theories, man, Puffy did that shit. He did that shit. Guilty as charged. Because Biggie was planning to leave Bad Boy. And he was so pissed about that shit. He wanted to control Biggie Smalls and tell him what to do. And Biggie Smalls ain't that intelligent. So Puff was taking advantage of that poor kid. So he had to do what he had to do. So when he got Biggie out of the way, he can get all of the recognition, all of his royalties, and all of his publishing, and still got control of his estate. So Diddy know what he was doing, man. This ninja is an asshole, because Biggie mom said the same shit. You know what happened to my son? You got him killed. So everyone was saying the same thing for a long time, and everyone was saying that Diddy never liked Tupac. He always have a different type of hate for Tupac. He don't even like to hear Tupac songs. So it is just crazy. This ninja was really out of control. He was doing all type of wild shit, and we had to hold him accountable. So I understand that a lot of people are saying, why would Biggie Small be on enemy ground when he was sick? He can't even walk on his 2 feet. He had to have a crutch. So that was just crazy. And Biggie Small should have went to London, and Diddy canceled that shit and said, we are going to the Hawar, we're going to celebrate, we're going to do this, we're going to party. So Puffy is known for doing some party shit and some slick shit. So he brought Biggie out there to enjoy his last day on earth. So he know what he was doing. That ninja was really out of control, man. So I don't know why. Why is Biggie car marked? Why no gun was not in Biggie's car? And everyone else was safe, and Biggie was the only one that got shot. That is a setup, man. That is no coincidence. So when they're talking this shit and saying this and saying that, I know that Genie D is upset because he was the one that's supposed to protect Biggie Smalls. But you heard that people was coming to kill us tonight, and everyone went to the party anyways. So I don't understand. Puffy's gonna say, get out of here with that cop shit. So Puffy know what he was doing. He set that shit up, and he let them run the lights and drive away, leave Biggie. And then Biggie got assassinated. So when they're gonna talk all of these theories, and then when Biggie died, he took the Rolling Stone cover and he let Biggie pay for his own funeral. Talking about a real sucker. This ninja is disloyal. So when they're talking about Puff, anything they say that he did that shit. He's guilty as charged. This ninja a criminal. But it is what it is, man. It's OB Media. Have a blessed day.
Y'all, I thought the Diddy documentary was a little boring, and I think that tells us a lot about how we construct evil and the way that we create the devil figure to avoid looking at the system. For a character to not fall flat, they need to be making decisions that are surprising to you, that change and evolve, right? This documentary shows decades of decisions, but at every single crossroad, every fork in the road when he could have chosen differently, he picked the same thing. Do you pay your artists or do you exploit their contracts? Exploit. Do you honor your business partners or do you cut them out? You cut them out. Do you respect boundaries or do you violate them? Violate them. Do you mentor someone or exploit them sexually? Exploit them sexually. When someone speaks up, do you listen? Do you silence? Silence. Do you make amends or do you deny an attack? You deny an attack. It's very fucking predictable. And it's true, the devil figure doesn't need elaborate schemes when patriarchy, capitalism, and hierarchical power structures already deliver exploitation on a massive scale. Why bother with clever temptation when you can just be a powerful man in an industry that protects powerful men? Besides, system is already set up to enable exactly this kind of abuse. The devil does not need to be creative when the system is doing the work. Diddy didn't invent this playbook. It's Harvey Weinstein, it's R. Kelly, it's Epstein, it's the Orange Man, it's every megachurch pastor who's been exposed. When we construct the devil figure, we place all the possibilities of evil onto this one figure, the goat, the devil, the bad man, and drive them out so the community doesn't have to change. So we don't have to examine patriarchy, capitalism, white supremacy, empire. We need Satan to carry all of the sins possible so we don't have to dismantle the systems that actually produce this harm. Diddy's whole aesthetic was prosperity gospel without Jesus. Wealth is proof of blessing, of empire building, and his abuse is just what happens when the logic plays out. Some people get blessed, which requires other people to be sacrificed. We want to believe that abusers are exceptionally complex, uniquely evil, monstrous, mysterious. We make them fascinating because if they were just an ordinary man, following ordinary patterns of power, then we have to actually ask the difficult question. What does that say about power itself? We make the devil fascinating to avoid confronting the boring structural violence of the systems that we all participate in. That's the real theological problem. Not that evil exists, but we'd rather create one demon, make one Satan, than look at how these harmful systems consistently produce the same patterns of violence. We create the devil so we don't have to face the God we created out of power itself. Stop centering the abuser. Start dismantling the system. Because the system that produced Diddy is still running, still selecting the next man who will make the same choices. If you enjoyed this, I invite you to join my Patreon community where we are doing monthly deconstruction and reconstruction of women in the Bible. I also teach a course called Faith Deconstruction 101, Leaving the Church Without Losing Yourself. The links are you know where.